Hey everybody, Larry Lawton here. I got a good video for you today. A very wanted video by a lot of people. It is the case of Nikita Dragun, a YouTube influencer, social media influencer, has a big channel for makeup, and she's a transgender. And I say she because that's what they identify with and that's what you call somebody. Nikita, we're gonna talk about that case. People asked me what I thought about her being housed in a male jail facility in Miami. I got some information on that. So I think you're gonna wanna hear that. Before I get started, please check me out on YouTube member programs, Patreon. Check us out on all the social media platforms. Check our book out, Gangster Redemption. Gangster Redemption book is going great. Everything's going good. You know, we got the company cruise coming up this Friday. It's the YouTube channel cruise or giveaway for the cigar company. All right, everybody. I'm gonna jump right into this video because I could probably be here forever. I got a lot of emails on this case. Before I get started, I do want to express something. I put out a little video, a short video about 6 minutes of me having fun on a motorcycle here in Central Florida. And it was just a short video Sunday, a 6-minute video. And I got a lot of feedback on that video. And some of it was kind of nasty, I guess. Or people giving me how they were dissatisfied with me because I didn't have a helmet on. Well, that's a choice. And I choose to not wear a helmet, right? Bad, indifference. And people say, Larry, you're an influencer, you should always wear a helmet. Listen, I don't want you to follow everything I do. I don't want anybody to follow what I do. I follow the law. People also said on the channel, I'm gonna set the record straight right now. No, I was not drunk, and I did not drink and drive on a motorcycle. And the way the video was cut, there were times that we were at a place, not even on the motorcycles, and having a few drinks and we were driven there. And other times it was way before we even started, so there was no drinking there. Yes, I was a goofball. I learned that by looking at the video. I didn't even like it. But some people said it was pretty funny. I got fucked up. I did get fucked up, but I never got fucked up and got on a motorcycle. So I did not drink and drive. We get that straight. I did not drink and drive. Second, it is my choice not to wear a helmet. Can I get my head splattered? Absolutely. We all have choices to make. I always say make good choices. Those choices are for you. Make good choices for you. What wearing a helmet has to do with you or anybody, and I'm not hurting anybody. Yes, DUI or drinking and driving would hurt somebody because that's affecting other people. I didn't do that. I'm just letting you know. I had fun with the whole video. I love living my life and I'm gonna keep living my life. And I hope I expressed to people to not judge. It seemed like I was getting judged quite a bit. And you know what? I mean, that's your right. I mean, this is a YouTube channel. I do feel like I give good advice and I won't stop doing that in whatever else I do. Okay, so now I'm gonna get into this video. Now this video, everybody, is gonna be about Nikita Dragun. Let me tell you what happened. I get a lot of emails about Nikita Dragun. Nikita Dragun is a social influencer. A lot. Between all her platforms, she's got about 25 million is one number, which is huge. But, you know, she was down in Miami Beach at the Good Time Hotel, and now that's known as a party hotel, and they're known for the pool parties. If anybody has been to Vegas or South Beach, understanding how the pool parties work and people get crazy and stuff of that nature, that's what happens in South Beach. Now she's at the Good Time Hotel in South Beach, and she gets arrested for a third-degree felony assault of a police officer, which I'm gonna question. And the reason I'm gonna question, I don't mean question it, the reason I'm gonna either defend her or find out really what the story's about, because you're only hearing the little stuff. But even in the police report is very suspect, and I'll tell you why. She also got a disorderly conduct. Now, in one of the reports, it said that she was walking around the pool naked. Now, this got me down what they call a rabbit hole on YouTube. Does this transgender person have her penis taken off? I can't read anywhere where that happened. The actual gender surgery that I read, I didn't see where it has happened, okay? Now, that doesn't mean it didn't. I just said, I don't know. At this point, I don't know. It made me think, if this girl is walking around naked at the pool, is what they said, why wasn't she charged with indecent exposure? That's the charge you would be charged with in Florida, at least. If I was walking down the street naked, that's the charge, indecent exposure, and you go from there. The assault charge she got a misdemeanor assault, and she got a felony assault for, get this, throwing a bottle, not the bottle. One report, they weren't as conclusive of everything of the water hitting the police officer. Well, it is an assault, and I'm not gonna take that lightly. you know, I don't know the assault was except for the bottle and the water. Nobody is saying she punched somebody with a closed fist or even slapped the cop or did anything of that nature. Nobody is saying that. Now, did she, if she threw a water bottle, did she, first of all, you have what they have to call mens rea. You have an intent, you have to know you're committing a crime. Do you know, did she know, was she really throwing that water bottle at a wall because she's frustrated? Nikita did have some mental issues. She was involuntarily committed to an institution for 8 days in December of 2021, which is not even, about a year ago, a little less than a year ago. Now, with that said, involuntary committing is being Baker Acted. In Florida, they call it a Baker Act. And the police or a hospital can Baker Act you if they think you're unstable, you're a threat to yourself or others. So they can do that, and I get that. This Nikita is only, first of all, she's 26 years old right now. She's younger than my daughter, my son, and I'm looking at this case in a little bit different way. This is a kid that's got, you know, some issues going on, obviously. I don't know what the issues are, and I'm not saying obviously because she's a transgender. Everybody knows on this channel that we are an all-inclusive channel. I don't judge anybody. I don't give a fuck what you do. That's your business. And that's how I live my life. I respect people and I want to be respected. And I have not seen anything with this Nikita that she disrespected someone. Now, did she get drunk? Was she really walking around? And what does naked mean? Now, let me give you why this is confusing to me. Here's what she is claiming. She is claiming that they housed her in the men's side of the county jail, the Dade County Jail. Well, I was in the Dade County Jail. It's a fucking zoo. There's, what, 4,000 inmates in the Dade County jail population. I'm reading the latest jail populations are only 297 women and females and 3,600 men. This is one part. Dade County jails have, I think, 7 jails. Out of that 7, the big one is the Miami-Dade, or as they call it, the Turner Guilford Night Correctional Center. That was a name change that I don't remember back when I was in there back in the 90s. They put her, it's what she said, in the male section.
All right. And Your Honor, may I ask one question? Do I have to stay here in the men's unit still?
Yeah, I don't make the rules up there, but okay. It's proper accommodation for you.
I don't know how hard that is or how true that is, and I'll tell you why. Maybe she doesn't even know where she was in that jail. She was not in there long. She ended up bailing out. I think her bail was $2,000, or in fact, another article was saying that she was released on her own recognizance. Again, not something that you're going to see a high bail on. I know the state attorney of Miami, Catherine Rundell, very good, top-notch state attorney, understands kids make bad choices, if you want to call it that. So, and I know her well. I had lunch with her multiple times, and a very logical, common sense state attorney. She's been there for a long time. And she's not going to take this and throw the book at somebody because this incident sounded like, or the cop wrote it up a certain way. What they do there, first of all, a 3rd-degree felony, you know, that's not the worst felony, but with a cop involved, it gets worse. But, you know, I look at this and what exactly happened and how young and the people involved, and I'm sure a judge will as well. I was a little disappointed with Judge Glazer, a female judge down there, but I saw her before. And when I say disappointed was, this person, the transgender person, mentioned up at the court, and you should mention things that when you go for a hearing or you go for a first appearance or whatever it is, don't be scared to talk. Don't say what you did. Don't plead guilty. Don't make something that's going to be used, obviously. But when I was abused and I was taken out of Miami-Dade Federal Detention Center, I was on 7 East down there, and they took me out at 12 at night and basically kidnapped me. Didn't tell anybody where I was going. They put me on a plane and they sent me to Pennsylvania on my case. I didn't get a shower or food or anything for 3 days. Literally 3 days, no shower, nothing. I got an apple maybe and a pack of crackers twice a day. And they were having me on what they call Con Air, and they had me all over the country. And I ended up getting there, and I spoke up to that judge. And I said, Your Honor, I have no idea what's going on. I was basically kidnapped, brought up here for the charges, wasn't even had the opportunity to tell family or friends, and I get the security implications there. But at what point are you going to treat a person with decency? And I mean not a shower and shave or anything, and I'm going in front of a judge. The judge stopped the hearing right then and there. And when she stopped the hearing, she said, get this man a meal, and I mean a hot meal right now, and get him to a housing place and where he can make a phone call. And did you know they did that immediately? Well, Nikita Dragun mentioned to this judge that, hey, do I have to stay in the male part of this prison or the male prison? The judge goes, you know, I don't make the rules there. I would have liked to seen the judge look into that a little bit more, and here's why. Because if a judge said, I'm going to check that out, I'm going to find out what's going on, a lot more answers come a lot quicker than, you know, somebody else just saying, and her saying, I don't make the rules down there. Well, you're a judge. You are a judge. You can hold people in contempt. You can hold organizations in contempt. You know, she can order releases. There's a lot of things a judge can do people don't know. If the judge inquired about that, you'd get an answer real quick. There's where my confusion is. First of all, let me explain another thing. You read on some of these sites, oh, she was in prison over here. No, she was not in prison. She's in a jail. Now, jails have holding facilities and jails have male and female inmates. That is normal. Well, normally, everybody, they only have one intake, and they call it R&D, receiving and discharge, in most jails or prisons. Well, in the intake in this prison in Dade County Jail, there's cells. You know, there's like big cells, little cells, you know, to hold 20 people like in a drunk tank, you know?
Everybody listen up. What I need to know is who's the boss in here. Whatever you're thinking right now is wrong.
And they'll put them there. So what the reports are saying here is they put her in a single cell or alone where, one, because of her celebrity status, sometimes, you know, that's protection. People know somebody's an influencer or somebody's a celebrity of some sort. You know, they don't want a fight and something happening and someone trying to extort somebody or anything like that. They don't want that, and I don't blame them. They shouldn't want that. I don't know if she was actually in the mail. She was in there receiving a part of the jail. Now, how they run their receiving, I wish they could have said that. They kind of said, you know, we have. They even said that they had a transgender or an LGBTQ officer escort her to the various parts of the intake. And what do I mean by that? When you get intaked into any facility, everyone, you have to be processed out of that prison, and you are processed into the next one. And I've done that so many times I can't count, and I mean that. Because from county jails to being on Con Air to everything you go, whenever you go to a new facility, it's a process. And I mean, if you are there for one night, it's a process. And what they do is they have a medical part of it. You know, they ask you certain questions. Do I think these medicals are really fucking good? No. You know, who's doing it? It's a nurse that's from some company, usually a Corizon or some contracted company. But they're really looking for somebody like myself who has had various surgeries and it takes medication. If they take I don't take medication, but if they take medication of something of that nature, they want to make sure that they get those medications. It could be as stupid as my glasses. Larry Lawton wears glasses and he needs permanent glasses to read, or even if I went to jail and for some reason I didn't have my glasses with me, I was at a fight at a bar and I had no glasses, and in me intake, I can't see. They would arrange to have my glasses either dropped off by somebody in my family or eventually get glasses or reading glasses or what you have to get, even in a county jail. You have to be able to defend yourself. And I don't mean physically, I mean defend your legal case. If you can't see because you have no glasses and they have a way to provide those, now you're being denied your legal representation yourself, to represent yourself. Normally what happens, you have to go to various spots. And that's fingerprinting. They take your height and the weight, and then they go, they do a questionnaire with a counselor or a psychologist. Then they do a medical checkup. The medical checkup, again, is all bullshit. And I only say bullshit because they cover their ass. And I don't mean that, again, that they're supposed to give you some in-depth medical check and all this shit that you're supposed to be taken care of like better than anybody ever been taken care of. But they gotta know if you have a heart condition, what condition you have. I have to assume they did that to Nikita. And when they did that to Nikita, if on her driver's license it still says male, or she has male genitalia, she has a penis and balls, you know, I don't know the policy. I am pretty sure the policy is you are housed in your gender identity. Now, that could be that I'm wrong, and you are housed what you are at birth. I don't know if that's true either. My point is, if you are a vulnerable person in any prison, and obviously at a 5'3", Nikita is 5'3", 100 pounds, this person couldn't defend himself with a bunch of male prisoners. And if they put her in the population with male inmates, I think that would be criminal, totally criminal. I think they would be putting that person, it'd be like taking a person and throwing them to the lions. I mean that. I did not see that happening. I'm glad Nikita is out of jail. I think she has some defenses, obviously. I don't know if she was walking around naked because they didn't charge indecent exposure. Obviously, they didn't see it. But you would think an influencer walking around naked in a place with other people, there'd be pictures on the internet somewhere or something would go on. I know if I walked around here naked, you'd see pictures everywhere. And that's not pretty. I don't know if that's true. I don't know what the conversation is and what the antagonization was with the security people at the Good Time Hotel. Were they on point? Did they try to diffuse the situation? Did Nikita have a mental issue? Did she snap? I'm giving you the defenses that right now pop up in my head immediately, and I say, wait a minute. I really think we could defend this case. Does the officer have a mark on him? You're assaulting an officer. One of the one charges I can't stand in Florida, and you see it a lot where I am up here, and you probably see in a lot of areas where you are. Not as much in New York, believe it or not. But you'll see, there'll be a resisting arrest on a charge. It could be a burglary or a disorderly kind of fighting in a bar and resisting arrest. I have watched them give a resisting arrest, but you're saying, what are you arresting me for? What the fuck's going on? Shut up or I'm gonna give you a resisting arrest. I didn't do anything. What the fuck and they actually put resisting arrest on your case. Now, you hope the prosecutor's office sees through that bullshit and just throws it out, but I don't think they do. Here's what I think happens in the law. I think they try to charge you with the fucking whole entire kitchen, and then they have negotiating power to bring it down to a simple assault, a misdemeanor assault. You're gonna get therapy, or you're gonna get 10 hours of community service, and you're gonna move on your way. Well, they want enough things there that you say, I ain't fighting this shit. And with the money it costs to fight things in court, I mean, it blows me away that we're not more compassionate. Obviously, you saw my video on a bail reform. I believe in it because this case is like this. There shouldn't be a bail in this case. Should not be a bail. This person is not a threat to society nor a flight risk. Obviously, then that's why I believe she was released on her own recognizance, which she should. I don't know the case, only she knows it at this point, and whoever wrote their reports, the cops. Do I believe cops all the time? No. Let me give you a little example. I was stopped by the police today. Yes, today. He said he paced me, and I was going 51 in a 40-mile-an-hour zone. I didn't know it was 40 miles an hour. I thought, to be honest, I thought the area was a 45-mile-an-hour zone. He gave me a warning, but he started lecturing me, and that's when I started getting a little bit mad, if you want to call it. Here's this 35-year-old cop, 40-year-old cop. I'm a 61-year-old man. He's lecturing me like I'm a fucking kid. Then he says something to me that really, I was with another person. I was with my nephew, and he looked at me after that happened, and he's a government big shot. I'll leave it at that. And this cop says, do you know our speedometers are programmed to pace you and give you a correct speed 100% of the time? Well, let me tell this officer something, and I will, if I ever go train that police department, or when the police chief comes on, I will let him know. There's not such thing as 100% of anything. You will never hear medications or anything say, we 100% guarantee this. Well, your speedometer officer is not 100%. You want to lecture me? I would have fought that. I was coming up on him. He swerves around. I go around him. I mean, he swerved. I didn't even know who he was. It's not like the police cars have lights on the top. They don't do that. So you're coming up on a white car. I'm not bitching about my case. Listen, the guy gave me a warning, whatever you want to do. I let him babble. Another thing my nephew said to me was, the cop goes, well, the reason I'm not giving you a ticket, and I would, is because I got to go to another call. Well, get in your fucking car and go for the call. Don't sit here lecturing a 61-year-old man, which you do know had no tickets, because I'm sure he looked that up. And I happen to give him a card from another law enforcement agent actually expressing what I do and how I do it and how much I respect a lot of things. I guess he didn't give a fuck about that either. Well, I hope he watches this video, and I hope he doesn't say the word 100% again, pulling people's names, and I can start talking about what police are not allowed to do and what they're allowed to do. And this isn't against police. I only said all of what I'm saying right now is because I don't know how much I'm gonna believe the police report. And I don't think a lot of people do believe police reports. The one thing I do know, and I hope it's true here in Miami-Dade, and I think it is, if that was a real police officer, was it a security guard? If it was striking a law enforcement order, did he have a body cam? Did he have a body cam? If he did, it should be released. That stops any questions of this case, period. And I'm sure the attorney for Nikita is gonna find that out. And if they had a body cam, and if he had an officer and he had no body cam, and the police department does have body cams, throw this case out. You don't come to that facility without a body cam if your department has body cams, period, because you're hiding something. And that's just my opinion on that. I think you'll win that in a court, in any court. I will put a jury together, but with just that. Why didn't he have his body cam? Well, I forgot it, or I came from another call. This officer, I hope he pulls his body cam, did me, and sat there lecturing me. I just sat there. Asked me, did you know? No, I didn't know. I didn't question him of the speed limit of 40. I didn't know. I thought it was 45. Most of the roads around here are. Up Babcock is 45 or whatever it is. Anyway, that's why I have my questionable feelings towards law enforcement mostly. But there's a lot of law enforcement I like. There really is. And I know we need them. And I think we need better paid police officers. I don't know who this guy was. I wonder if this guy's the one guy, Lutz, that's a hell of a reputation around here. I don't know. I'm gonna find out. He says, you better not speed because now you're in the system and guy's not gonna give you a break. He said he wasn't gonna give me a break. He only had to go to a call. And he kept talking to me, I guess that other call wasn't that important. Could have gave me the ticket. And you know what? I get a ticket, I get a ticket. It won't, you know, it is what it is. I just always like to understand why cops would do that. Why a cop wouldn't come up here and just say, hey, listen, you live here. I literally lived 600 yards from where I was stopped. Man, 600 yards, 700 yards. I was on the corner of my block, and my block is 300 yards, so 400 yards. Hey, you live right around the corner. You were going a little fast. You came up on me. Can't do that, guy. You gotta go slower. I get it. All right. I'm not a kid. I'm not a kid you give and go to school lesson. Remember that, officers. There's a way to talk to people that gives you more respect. I talk to you with 100% respect. And I hope they look at that body camera. Maybe I'll ask them to, just for that 100% bullshit. Don't tell me something's 100%, because I'm gonna call them bullshit on it right away. With that said, I think you got my views on Nikita. I think she, you know, the case, I don't think it's gonna be much. I really don't. There's gonna be no jail time. I'd be very surprised with this jail time it is. Any jail time. And I wanna wish that person luck. 26-year-old kid in my mind. Good for her for being who she is, and her parents. She's a Mexican. She comes from a Mexican and a Vietnamese parents. The father's Vietnamese, the mother's Mexican. Beautiful person. Trust me, if you haven't seen Nikita Dragun, Google Nikita Dragun. She's a beautiful woman. And I'm saying woman because I go along with what they identify with, because you couldn't tell me otherwise. And when you go that far, I hope she stays as happy as she can. I hope she gets a little bit, maybe if she did anything wrong and she recognizes that, she becomes more mature and doesn't have to run into shit like that. You know, people have incidents. Let's not judge them on that one incident or that the one bad thing or two bad things people do. Please don't judge me on that. Now, even with my helmet and what I said in the beginning of the video. With all of that said, have a great day. Yes, make good choices. I'm not gonna answer to those comments that say, Larry, you always tell people to make good choices and then you don't wear a helmet. Well, that's a personal preference. And I wasn't drinking and driving. End of story on that. I don't do that. With that said, everybody, have a great day. Please stay safe and make good choices. See you next time.